Hello, darling. And of course, are we both wearing black? And we did not discuss that once again. We're just in sync. We are in sync. That is so wild. That's, I'm not surprised though. I was like, I'm just going to wear black and see what happens. And there you are wearing black. And under my sweatshirt, I do have my Medusa shirt on.
Ah, I love that.
Mhm.
Yes, yes. Yes. Wonderful to be here again. Let's give it a few minutes, see who joins us live today again. So lovely to be here. The replay for last week is available on YouTube at Dragon Drasmin, and the Dragon Jedi is tagged on it as well. So you'll also see the video pop up on her channel, I think.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome,
Yes.
Eskshare.
I'm excited to go on to session 2 tonight of our Dark Mother Daughters of the Dark Mother series here. And I'm just looking at some of the overview of Sekhmet, who we will be talking about in a moment. As we wait for people to arrive, why don't we go ahead and just kind of recap. So last week's session, we highlighted Hecate. And one of Drasmin's questions to me before we jumped on was like, has she shown up? Or, what has come up for me since then? And my answer is Hecate has shown up in a way that has helped me release any unnecessary guilt and cutting cords and calling my power back to me from those that did not truly deserve to have it in the first place. So, retracting and withdrawing and retreating in a way that is guilt-free, knowing that there is a lack of reciprocity or a lack of gratitude, and therefore I'm not going to continue to give. And in fact, I'm going to call it back. And I think Hecate is beautiful with helping us do that without this unnecessary guilt of feeling bad about it. So yeah, that's a bit about how she's shown up for me. And it feels great. It feels like relief to just let go of any cords or attachments that no longer serve. And how about you, Drasmin? How has Hecate shown up for you since our last transmission?
Whew. All right. So, Mother Hecate, I mentioned in our transmission last week, makes her presence known with very strong winds. And we had crazy winds here in the desert for a couple of days. We had rain and cloud for days. I mean, it is not normal for it to be raining as much as it has been over the last few months in Arizona. And I'm not going to say I'm the one who brought it here because I'm not alone. And I honor the power that my prayers have brought to me. So she showed up in the winds. And a couple days ago, actually, in the bathtub, I had this realization about myself after 20 some years of doing the soul work. And it was this realization of operating from a state of exhaustion braided with grief. And because I have been operating in this way, there has been an identity created around managing depletion and calling it success. And so that then clicked for me why a lot of what I have tended and poured into hasn't poured back into me, because what I've attracted into my life has also been exhaustion braided with grief, because that's the a survival imprinted identity that I had been operating on. And then that brought clarity into the adrenal fatigue and my hands and the pain body I've been navigating. So it illuminated for me where I have created certain difficulties in my own life, and her strong winds cleared that out of my consciousness. The experience of the winds in my external environment stirred the fires enough within me where that rage cleared out, the sadness cleared out, the grief cleared itself out enough to bring that deeper layer of self-awareness. And it inspired this huge post that I shared with my groups online and my private circle. So gratitude for the medicine that she brought into my life, which then just brought peace into the relationships and experiences and contracts that have fallen away in the past year. Like, okay, thank goddess that actually happened, because I see now why. So
I love that.
That's my experience in the past week.
That's
past few days.
amazing. That's amazing. And I love the wind. So living in Massachusetts, we just got buried with another blizzard, 2 feet of snow in some parts of Massachusetts. And the last couple of days where I work, they closed down because of the storm. So I've been working remote. And what I've absolutely loved is going down and opening the doors downstairs and just watching those winds sweep around and swish around the snow. And the first night of the blizzard, the winds were so strong, and they were just sweeping the snow right off the roof and like into this like tunnel, kind of like tornado form. That was just so beautiful to watch. And as I was watching it visually, I could feel energetically just that swooping, cleansing wind just sweeping through my auric field and clearing out any and all things that need to go. And that's what I really love about like the last session and the transmission of Hecate. She really came in to show me that it is okay to release those attachments, and you do not need to feel bad about it. You do not, like, sometimes as empaths, our empathy can harm us when we feel bad, right? We feel bad for our perpetrator. Like, what? We feel bad for the person that just treated us like shit. And Hecate comes in very quickly and is like, no, darling, you do not need to feel bad. In fact, you need to feel empowered. And she does great. Like, if Hecate was a therapist modern day, she'd be doing cognitive behavioral therapy on all of us, reframing our negative self-talk. For sure. So yeah. I appreciate her with helping release what's unnecessary. That's what I really felt like, really, really unleashing and releasing what is no longer needed.
Yes, thank you for that. Clearing the cognitive distortion. Yeah, the collective could use a little bit of that right now, right?
A lot of bit of that for sure. All right, so it is 9:05. We said we'd be on at 9 Eastern Standard Time. So let us begin our session number 2.
Yes. Thank you. So welcome, beloved ones, to Dark Mother Daughters. We are your hosts. I am Lady Drasmin.
And I am DragonJedi44, also known as Allison.
Yes. And this is a live, unscripted conversation exploring lineage, shadow, rage, embodied power, devotion, and the intelligence of the body. We speak from lived experience, not to perform or fix, simply to witness what is present and alchemize in real time. We speak openly, take questions, and close with a grounded integration to support your nervous system. Whether you are here live or catching the replay is on my YouTube, Dragon Drasmin, and Dragon Jedi is also tagged. Allow yourself to land here fully and be in your body. Let us begin.
Let us. Thank you so much, and welcome to the Dark Mother's Daughters. We are the daughters of the Dark Mother, and what does that mean? We are holding the Akashic DNA, the records of the Dark Mother, of the Dark Goddess Mother. And she is known by many names. She has many incarnations. And tonight we are talking about the incarnation of the goddess warrior Sekhmet of the Egyptian pantheon. Our last session was on the Greek goddess Hecate. Tonight we're talking about Sekhmet and what Sekhmet brings forward in our auric fields and our hearts and our souls that is so, so very needed in this modern day of chaos and distortion and corruption. Sekhmet was created by the gods to remove corruption, to bring karma and consequence to the corrupted who are doing great harm to women, children, and innocent humans. And I just want to start with reading a little bit about her for those that are listening, and then we can go into our unscripted conversation. Before I do that, Drasmin, did you want to say anything else in our introduction, anything more about yourself or what you hope to offer in tonight's session?
Nah, I just want to let the goddess speak through.
Okay. All right. All right. So a little bit about Sekhmet. The powerful one is a fearsome ancient Egyptian goddess of war, destruction, and healing, represented as a lioness-headed woman, often crowned with a sun disk. As the daughter of Ra and a protector of pharaohs, she embodies the sun's scorching rays and was believed to bring plague or cursed diseases, representing a balance between chaos and ultimately restoration. Duality, warrior healer, while known as Lady of Slaughter and a merciless destroyer, she was also revered as Lady of Life and a protector who could stop epidemics. We need her now. Wow, do we need her now? And I just want to note that there is a common theme of these dark goddess mothers. There is a theme of duality. They all seem to have a facet of nurturing, healing, divine love, but can also be brutal and merciless and fierce when needed.
And just one quick note here for our audience. Sekhmet is more of the quote unquote light version of the goddess. And her fierce side is Basht. So Basht and Sekhmet are one and the same. Just wanting to bring that in there because I've had that question come up to me and they're like, well, who's Basht? Well, she's the more... the dark. She is the fire. I mean, they're all one, and I'll go into more of my story, but please.
Yes. Continue. And well, and Bastet, right? Bastet was her sister, who was more of a softer version, more of the healer, more of the nurturer, and Sekhmet being more of the fierce warrior. So say a little bit more about so is how do you spell that? Basht?
Bastet.
And is that different than Bastet?
No. It's Bastet, one and the same.
Okay, all right. And so interesting.
Yeah, so it's like both Bastet is like, okay, all right. Fun nicknames.
Yeah, well, and I think that's Say again?
Because she is so playful.
Yes. And I think that's so important to note, that there were softer or more fierce versions of the same goddess under different names. And if we think about like who we are as humans, we have all these different facets, right? We have all these different aspects that make us into our whole self. And in the therapy world, there's something called IFS, Integrated Family Systems. And with that model of therapy, they're looking at, you have your core self when you're, grounded and whole and in your center. And then through traumatic experiences or through adverse experiences, these little fractals break off and develop these like little sub personalities. Now, it's not multiple personality disorder or dissociative identity disorder, very, very different. You're consciously aware of all of these different aspects of yourself. And the goal is to identify them, name them, understand their function, and bring them into coherence together. And when I learned about that model, and knowing I've been researching mythology since I was a teenager, the two connected for me. And that like we are these goddesses that have these different fractals. We have these different aspects. We are on a spectrum. There is duality within us, and there has to be, because our universe is dual. There is good, there's bad, there's positive, there's negative, there's light, there's dark. There's no denying that. And it's now extremely visible for all to see and know. Anyone who cannot recognize that, they either have their head in the sand or they are under a severe blinding spell. But we hold a duality, and we need to, especially when there are dark times that we are facing, adversarial times, challenges that we're facing. We have to have, just like in nature, a defense mechanism to survive what might be considered a threat.
And speaking into the dual nature, I mean, that is what protects balance. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, the many faces of Sekhmet and the many faces of the Dark Mother, they are restoring balance with a very specific aspect of what is needed in that balance.
Absolutely. I would love to hear a little bit from you on like, when did you become consciously aware of Sekhmet? Like, how was she introduced to your life? What age were you? Tell me a little bit about your history in this lifetime. I know you have many past lives with her, but in this lifetime, how did you reconnect and remember her?
So it was about, I want to say 6. Is there a date on this? That would probably be good.
Oh, yeah. And make sure you show that to the audience.
Yes. So it was about 6 years ago, and I was in deep spiritual devotion and study, my medicine woman training at that time. And she came to me in a meditation, and she was the first goddess, first archetype who showed up with 4 faces that were spinning. And so I immediately sketched this drawing out. It is available as a print in my shop. And I drew 4 of the faces. There was the lioness face, there was the kitten face, there was this like more masculine androgynous face, and then there was the human face behind it. And she showed up, and like her head was turning like an owl. It kind of freaked me out because I didn't know that would show up in a goddess, right? And so I just grabbed some pastels and I channeled what I could do in that moment. There's a whole bunch of light code in here. So that's how she first appeared to me. And I quickly came to understand that she was there to help me alchemize rage. Rage is my biggest shadow, shall we say. It just lives within me, like lava lives in a volcano. So when certain buttons are pushed, it comes out. And as I have gone through my own therapy, and especially working with the Dark Mothers, one of them being Lady Sekhmet, I have learned how to release that anger in a way that doesn't destroy. And something that I just realized over the last few days is the way that suppressed anger, suppressed rage, which is simply boundaries that haven't been honored, that are still waiting to be expressed. That's really what rage holds, is the inflammation in my joints. And so working with her, I'm still working with her teachings, that she's not as present as some of the other dark mothers, but she definitely comes in when there is a transformation of a deeper pocket of that fire within me into alchemy for creativity specifically. So she was this first dark mother, shall we say, that I sketched out, and that felt very special to me, to receive her in a very vibrant way.
I love that. That's amazing. And that art is amazing. I love your art. You're very what I would call intermodal. You know, you have multiple modalities of channeling and expressing, and it's just really incredible to see. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah, and so, you know, with Bastet and Sekhmet, they have a what some people might call like a Lyran heritage, right? Like the lioness, feline lineage of a humanoid hybrid lion human. Like we've talked about human dragon hybrids, and there's lion human hybrids. And you can see that in the hieroglyphics in Egypt, right? They have the feline head and the humanoid body. When I first learned about Bastet, and how I learned about Sekhmet is wild. I have quite the story. So I was working in an alternative therapeutic middle school, and one of my students, I was a counselor there, and one of the students that I would see, he absolutely loved Egyptian mythology, and every session he wanted to have a YouTube video on mythology playing in the background while we drew pictures and talked. And so there was a video about Sekhmet, and I was like really listening. I was like, wow, she sounds amazing. And this child, he was like 10 years old, and he looked up at me and he points and he goes, "That's your sister." And I was like, "What? Sekhmet is my sister?" And he goes, "Yeah, that's your sister." And I was like, Sekhmet is my sister? Like my head was like exploding. I'm like, I mean, way to get a channeled message from a child, right? And I was like, what, how did that just come to you? Like I was trying not to freak out, you know, I was like, how did that just pop into your noggin there, little buddy? And he's like, oh, she told me that you're her sister, you're her cosmic sister. 10-year-old boy, you're her cosmic sister. And I'm like, okay, so Sekhmet is my sister, so that would make me Bastet. Like what? And then when I started like researching both of them, everything about both of them resonated. And Bastet being a healer and protector of women and children, and she made her own tinctures and her own salves. And I was born with a genetic skin disorder. And since I was a teenager, I've been making my own skin lotions and coconut oils and glycerin and mixing and doing all these things to heal my own skin. And then when I learned about Sekhmet being more the fiercer version and the more of a warrior, oh my gosh, my dragon sister Rockette is here. Sorry, I have to jump in. I just saw Rockette is a dragon sister. Rockette, meet Drasmin. Drasmin is another dragon sister. Rockette lives local. She's like 45 minutes away. I used to work with her. We do magic all the time. We have epic adventures. And Rockette, and she says, well, hello. Well, hello, Rockette. Oh my God, I'm so glad you can make it on. I feel so honored. Rockette's been amazing. Actually, Rockette told me I was a starseed, and that was like in 2012. And I was like, what? I was not ready for that at the time, but now I know. Now I know she knew her shit. She knew what was going on. But yeah, so back to like learning about Sekhmet. One of the things I learned about her that really resonated and made me laugh, to be honest, is that like she was created to devour the enemy, right? So she was like created to be like bloodthirsty. But she became so bloodthirsty for the enemy that she mistook some of the innocents for the enemy. So her discernment was a little off. Like, not cool, Sekhmet. You know what I mean? Like, leave the innocent alone. She went a little haywire, and in order to like put her back in her place, Ra created red wine that looked just like blood to redirect Sekhmet. And she got drunk off the red wine, and then that sedated her, so she stopped killing like innocent mistakenly for the enemy. And when I read that, like I could not help but laugh because A, I love red wine. B, I am fierce and like I do need to be sedated sometimes when I'm like in my fire, ready to roar, ready to rip things to shreds with my claws. So it just kind of delighted my soul a little bit of like, okay, wait a second. Sekhmet was so on fire. She was so savage that red wine was created to sedate her. That's makes sense to me. I mean, maybe that's why I like red wine so much because the Sekhmet in me is like the Sekhmet in me is like, all right, we got to calm down with some red wine.
Oh, I love that. OMG, I love that so much. Now, every time I drink wine, which is usually around my moon time, I'm gonna pour a shot or a glass, maybe like actually a big ass glass, let's be honest, for the goddess. And I'll think of you.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Another dragon sister has arrived, Mama Zuma. Her name is Shannon. She lives out in Western Mass. I've met up with her for multiple adventures. We have frolicked through Boston, which formerly was called Bostonia. We've been on missions together. We've done epic healing out in Western Mass. She showed me some very magical places. She is an amazing shaman and medicine woman. Frolicking in Bostonia. That's right. That's right, Mama Zuma. We frolicked for sure. And we had an epic time at the Boston Public Library where there is a mural of Astarte, which I can't wait when we get to the session on Astarte to talk about that. But yeah, it's great to have some sisters in here. It's just great. I'm so glad that they're showing up. And Shannon, this is Drasmin. If you have not come across her content, please do follow her. Our lives are going to be posted on her YouTube. And Drasmin, is your YouTube linked to your bio and your on your TikTok channel? If they go to your bio, do you have like a link tree?
I want to say yes, and if not, I will double check after we get out of here.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure that people know. And what is your YouTube channel called for those that are listening?
Dragon Drasmin.
Dragon Drasmin.
In that bottom right there.
Okay.
Yes, excellent. Women weaving together. This is what the Dark Mother does. It unifies the sisters because we realize that we are all vessels of primal power.
Yes, absolutely. So we're talking about Sekhmet tonight. I just shared a story of what really resonated with me about her. Does anyone watching, anyone have comments or questions about Sekhmet? Give a moment for anyone who wants to ask a question or say anything about their experience with Sekhmet.
And while people are dropping in questions, I want to bring in that Lady Sekhmet for me. It really brings an activation energy. It's like a switch goes off. It's that like, whoa. It's almost like cats, like when you cross a cat, they'll immediately go like, shh. And it was really funny because the cat in our house today, I went to pet the kitty and kitty just ran and looked at me and hissed and then ran off. I was like, cat's never done that before. So very Sekhmet energy to just be able to like instantly feel that corrective action wanting to come through. And that's really how how I have found the best way to integrate the Sekhmetian power is that decisive ending. It's like, no, sword cut, samurai slash, and it preserves life force. But then in that taking, it can get a little crazy because the fire, the rage, once it's going, you need wine to sedate it, or a joint, or a bath, or likely all three sometimes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think too, it's so important to recognize like goddesses like Sekhmet were literally created for a purpose. And what was the purpose that she was created for, which was to be a warrior and a corrector, right? To balance out the darkness. And when there's an imbalance of dark energy, goddesses like Sekhmet were created to bring that balance and bring justice and bring retribution. And if we look back at the ancient times, like there were so many stories about dark entities, dark energies. Thoth talked about it in the Emerald Tablets of like they walk among us, these like dark entities, these serpent-headed beings mentioned in the Emerald Tablets. And it's like, they talked about this thousands of years ago, that this is nothing new. What we're experiencing now is actually nothing new. It's just that people are coming out of these blinding spells. The spells that have been done on the masses for thousands of years are breaking. And goddesses were created thousands of years ago to bring balance, to bring justice, to correct, distortions. And if they needed to back then, thousands of years ago, why would we not need that now?
If not more. We have more people alive now.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly. That's a great point. The population has expanded. There's more children, there's more women, there's more to be protected. And that dark energy that they talked about thousands of years ago, or the dark beings that they talked about, they've never actually gone away. They've just found a way to hide. They've found a way to evade and avoid retribution, karma, and consequences. And we see that in the political realm. And I'm not going to bring politics into this, but we can see the dynamics playing out in modern day themes. And I think that, part of why I think we felt so compelled to do this series, Drasmin, is that we know that the medicine of these goddesses are so needed now. These goddesses were bound, they were banished, they were erased, they were rewritten, they were demonized, they were smear campaigned. The amount of effort by the patriarchy to get rid of this energy was extraordinary and continues to be extraordinary. And that makes me think like, these goddesses had to be powerful as fuck for the patriarchy to have to put that extensive amount of time, energy, and effort into banishing and binding and erasing them and burning them, right? And burying them and torturing them. Like what these goddesses have gone through over time is just out of control. And
not just goddesses, but also like the feline family as a whole, right? Like I feel this importance right now to also note like cats, lions, tigers, cheetahs, pumas, they are spiritual guardians. Mm-hmm. It's not just the goddess archetype, it's the feline archetype in the feline creatures that still roam the earth. There's a reason the lion is the king of the jungle. Right? There's a feline energy protecting the land through the lion energy. Mm-hmm. And there is, it's interesting for me to see how cats have evolved over time and made their way into the homes of humans to protect the warriors, the visionaries, the seers, like kitties will find you.
They're interdimensional. Well, right? Like, and I just want to make this point real quick. The human eye can only see 0.003% of the light spectrum. That is minuscule. That's not even a 0.5. That's not even a 1%. That's a 0.003% of the light spectrum. And so cats are interdimensional. They see interdimensionally, which is why the Egyptians worshipped cats, which is why they were protectors of the home. They didn't only protect the home from rodents and things like that, but also they warded off evil spirits. And if we think about the domestication of cats over time, you know, cats are now more considered like playful and funny and cute, but like they still will always have that fierce energy that will never leave them, that can never be banished from them. The protective, and thinking about like lions in the wild, like I love watching nature videos of lionesses, like the female lion putting the male lion in his place. Like there's some great videos on TikTok of the female lion just like whoop-bap, like just batting the male lion like in the face, and he's like stunned, like, oh shit. And he backs down. He backs down to the lioness. Like she is absolutely in charge. She is the matriarch. It is a matriarchal system with lions and felines. And that feline energy is within the divine feminine. Absolutely. You know, I can feel it when I'm dancing, that like feline movement that you see cats do. And when cats will, like when they want to be pet and they arch their back and, you know, their tail goes up and they're just like, yeah, right there, right there. Like they have no problem communicating what they need and what they want. They're great at it. They don't have to speak. So that's within us.
And you know, it took me a while to understand. You know, I talked about how when Sekhmet appeared to me, she did so in her shape-shifting form, and she did so a few months after my kitty passed away. I had a feline companion for 11 years, and she transformed into this majestic, giant guardian kitty. I was there for her galactic, you know, transition ceremony. It was so beautiful. And it makes me think of like how that, again, like that switch goes off, right? And it's also within us as women. Like we just know when something is off if we allow ourselves. Yeah, the interdimensionality, the ability to like shapeshift and transform and go from playful to warrior to just, you know, observing the scene.
Absolutely. We can learn a lot from just observing feline energy. Like when a feline feels safe and loved, they're very affectionate. They'll go belly up, right? And they want the affection and they want the positive interaction. If they are threatened, they show their teeth, they hiss, their claws come out, and they will fuck shit up. Like cats are no joke when they're aggressive. You know what I mean? Like a cat can scare the shit out of a German Shepherd or what, you know, like a big dog. Like that's another thing I love watching are like cat and dog videos when cats are just like, oh, pat, 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 to the dog. The dog's like, oh shit. And they back down because like, you don't have to be physically bigger than your opponent to dominate. Like that energy, that the auric field is very powerful. And cats, when they dominate a dog, it has nothing to do with size or physical strength. It has all to do with the mindset and the energy that they're putting out. And that's like the Sekhmet energy of like, once that gets triggered, that the energy of attack, like there's no getting away from that. There's no escaping from it. That fierceness.
The other thing about cats is even though they're quote unquote domesticated, if a human dies in their home and the body isn't found, cats will eat the body. They don't give a fuck. Like the dog will sit there and howl and starve to death, but cats, they'll eat the body because they understand like it's all part of the cycle of life. And when I first learned that, I remember thinking of like, how crazy that something so cute and innocent and tiny and small will just devour and just go into its, like, it can shift from its like playful nature to like being that it still has that primal power in itself. Like cats don't have owners, they have slaves.
Yeah, they're commanders. They have commander energy. They tell you. You don't tell them. They tell you.
And I feel that switch point is that activation medicine that Sekhmet brings. It's like, what is being activated within you? What is being agitated within you right now? What is the grit, like the dirt, hitting dirt and forming this pearl within you? And I feel during this time in between eclipses, then the next one is bringing in illumination. It's like between the clearing of the masks with the previous eclipse and the illumination with this upcoming eclipse. And whenever you find this video, this transmission will hit you with the energy that we're bringing in through now. It's like, what is being activated? Where is that clear line of boundary being restored? Because there's a boundary and then there's a bridge. This is my clear line, and this is the bridge where I meet another. And I feel like this clarity piece is coming through for the collective now to shift the scales back into balance.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah. And we need that so badly right now to shift those scales back into balance. And I can definitely look back and think of times that Sekhmet has come through for me in moments of like adversarial interaction or in the face of narcissistic abuse. Sekhmet will activate and bring her warrior energy forward. I do want to ask, anyone who's here listening, I would love to hear from you guys if you are familiar with Sekhmet. Who here that's listening knows about Sekhmet? And if you've never heard of her, let us know that too. Because if this is brand new for you, I'd love to educate you guys more so on Sekhmet. We'll give a moment to see if anyone has any questions or any comments on Sekhmet and their knowledge or lack of knowledge of her. But I think she's so necessary right now in the way, like with the narcissism on this planet, the narcissistic energy is just absolutely out of control in all of our systems, right? And I think what I love about Sekhmet is that she's fearless in the face of narcissism, and she will gladly humble the narcissist with her intelligence. And she'll slay, but she can also disengage pretty quickly when her discernment kicks in. Have you experienced that, Drasmin, with Sekhmet, like the discernment of knowing when to be fierce and perhaps a little bit aggressive in the face of narcissistic abuse, and when to just simply cut the cords and walk away?
I feel like I have felt her presence, but she isn't the primary one that I've called upon when it's time for discernment and cutting cords. But for the last few months, since living in the home I'm in right now, my housemate, dear soul brother, Lady Sekhmet is one of his primary goddesses, and he is a feline star family. So I've definitely felt her coming through over the last few months with that quick decision. This collaboration's not in alignment. This person's wasting your motherfucking time. This experience is not good for you anymore. It's been like quick decisions that have been quickly restoring my power and life force and protecting my peace. Is the energy that I've been feeling by being so immersed in her force field for the last few months.
That's pretty great. How do you honor her? Like we talked last time about like how you honor Hecate, or what you might like provide for offerings if you're doing any type of ceremony for Sekhmet. Is there anything in particular for offerings or for ways to invite her in?
She loves play. I always feel that energy of play come through when I want to connect with Sekhmet. And I guess that would be more like the Bastet energy. But in terms of offerings, the only thing I can think of is wine.
Red wine. So
And I
perfect.
often bring offering, I often bring a cup of wine. I often have a cup of wine on my altar for the Dark Mothers to have. And I always know when they've received it because, I'll put a big old cup there and the next day it's like that much left. I'm like, oh, somebody's having a party.
Okay. Wow. I've never, you know what? I'm gonna have to do that. I have left red wine out for offerings, but I've never like been that astute to notice if it dips down in the levels. So that's kind of fun to think about.
It is fun. It is fun to notice. You're like, okay, you're feeling this wine or you're not feeling this wine, and they're picky. They're like bougie, okay, about the kind of wine. You can't give them that box shit, okay? That shit will grow mold. I've tried.
That's hilarious. But I love that you mentioned like Sekhmet's playful side because I think that's so important to like any warrior. I know that I am a warrior and I can absolutely be in that like aggressive slay energy. But when there is no threat, I love nothing more than to be playful. And I do love that about Sekhmet.
And even with the quote unquote threats, right? Like the way we move our weapons and the way we move our energy, the way I move my body, I really bring in the playful warrior energy because I know that I can switch and cut a demon's head off if I need to, but I stay in that place of like, oh, pachow, and I'm still in the flow, and I'm like, nice try. Okay, all right. Like even when you are in that aggression, can you be like, yeah, take my murder weapon, take that punch in the face, you little fly. Why do you like that now, Matrix? Like, yeah, like people are like, are you insane? Because I'm like, saying some crazy ass shit, but I'm being like really playful about it. So it's like the play medicine really helps to like shift that and keep you in that grounded, activated state that then allows you to transform and create something beautiful from whatever has been stirred, whether it's a piece of poetry, whether it's a cake, whether it's a conversation with a friend, whatever it is. But usually like creative energy will come through when you work with that aggressive energy or that aggression energy through play.
Yeah, play is powerful, and play is restorative and it's healing. As a therapist, I remember learning and reading about play as healing. When we play, we're engaging a lot of different neural pathways and generating new neural connections, and play is such a great way to heal. Someone else just joined, Damios, which I've been following him. He's a magician. He does quite a bit about magic on his channel. So welcome. Nice to see you here. We're talking about Sekhmet, Damios. Have you worked with her? I'm curious in your magical practices. Do you ever call on Sekhmet? But yeah, the playfulness is so important. And after battle, sometimes like I notice after I go on mission or after I've been in a spiritual battle, I love to engage in something playful to restore the energy field and to heal and repair. And you see that in nature. You see every animal playing. They all play. We're supposed to be playing. We're meant to play. And something that I've noticed about our society is like the demonization of playfulness. Like after a certain age, you're not supposed to play with toys, or after a certain age that's make believe, you're too old for that. Like all these societal rules that limit play. And that is so bonkers when you learn that play leads to healing. Like, why would they do that? Why would they want to cut off play? Well, I do know. I actually do know the answer, but I don't want to get banned, so I'm not going to say why. But it's crazy. Like the things that lead to healing are the things that get demonized and like made fun of in society. And I saw that even working in a middle school. The kids that were like playful and imaginative, they would get targeted by the bullies. They'd get made fun of. because, you know, they were expressing themselves, they were being authentic, being creative. And I think that Sekhmet is a great reminder of the importance of being playful. Powerful.
So powerful. So, as we wrap up here, if there's any last minute questions, I feel that perhaps we can bring in an incantation activation from Lady Sekhmet for the collective. For what do you feel? What do you feel, Dragon Jedi?
Oh yeah, I'm. That's why I'm repositioning myself. I felt Sekhmet come in immediately with an incantation for us about the now times. So I will gladly lead that, and then I will then turn it to you for your transmission and your offering for your nervous system engineer abilities and skills.
Yes, yes, yes. Once while the transmission's coming in, I will just integrate that into the nervous system, and then I will voice in a nervous system integration practice to carry forward, and then we'll do our closing.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. All right, so calling on Sekhmet to come through now with an incantation for the now times. Here we go. I am Sekhmet, and I offer you this. I hereby declare any and all dark spells, dark magic, binding, bondage, or restriction placed upon my soul in any and all timelines is now shredded to pieces and torched with dragon fire, shredded with the claws of Sekhmet and Bastet. I will not be bound. I will not be restricted. My fierceness is necessary. My fierceness and ferocity is what is needed to bring balance to this corruption, to the imbalance of darkness. Do not be afraid to be fierce. Do not be afraid to be ferocious. Do not hesitate to show your teeth and to show your claws. It is okay to be a warrior in this now time without guilt, shame, embarrassment, or insecurity. Let those things fall to the wayside and let your confidence shine through. The warriors are needed at this time, and I, as Sekhmet, activate the warrior within you, bestowing you with the ferocity and discernment necessary to navigate the enemy's tactics. They shall be shredded. They shall be defeated, and balance shall be brought to the wicked. And so it is. Goddess Sekhmet, thank you so much.
Wow. Let us take a moment to receive and feel those vibrations settling into the body right now. If you feel yourself buzzing, humming, thrumming, breathe into that space. Ah, yes. Thank you, Rocket, for receiving that. Yes, yes. Continue letting that vibrate, letting that become your new now normal, letting that fully integrate into your activated DNA strands. And continuing to stay on that steady bridge of breath. Place one hand on your chest and one on your lower belly. Feet uncrossed. Allowing yourself to land back gently into this body. Inhaling gently through the nose to the count of 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale slowly through the mouth like you're fogging a mirror. 2 more of those. Inhale. And exhale. 1 more, receiving that. Inhale, long and deep. Exhale, slowly through the mouth. The next one, we're going to go a little deeper and make a sound in the exhale. Maybe your feline sounds. Inhale, feel the power. Feel how steady it feels. Sovereign choice arises from steadiness. So feel the power and the steadiness. Bring movement, shake it off if you need it. Let it just move through you, but stay in that steadiness within that breath. And I speak life into your presence as you bring this movement and breath. I am here. I am safe. I am allowed to feel deeply and not move to fix it. Breathe that in. Slow down the movements. Soften the breath. Return to the sacred sovereign center in your heart space. If anything was stirred tonight, you do not need to understand it yet. Integration happens through rest, water, breath, nature, and time. Take one more slow, deep breath. Feel your weight held by the Mother Earth. Welcome back.
Thank you so much. That was divine, amazing. Breath work is so, so powerful. I love that so much. And just, getting into your primal energy. And I want to, wrap this up with acknowledging the importance of honoring the primal energy within. And Sekhmet is primal energy. She is pure fire. And I just want to express my gratitude to you, Drasmin, for all that you brought tonight, all your wisdom, your knowledge, your divinity, your high priestess abilities, your nervous system engineering skills. That is just incredible. Hold on a second. TikTok's making me do some type of little puzzle so we don't get booted off of here. One moment. Okay, got it. So I would like to close this transmission with absolute gratitude towards you, Drasmin, for this collaboration, for our sisterhood, for all those that showed up tonight, for my dragon sisters that came on this live, Rockette and Shannon. So great to see you on here, and anyone else who joined. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And this is a 12-week series. This was session 2. That means we have 10 more weeks to go. Last week was Hecate. This week was Sekhmet. And next week, do you know offhand who we will be focusing on next week?
Yeah. Next week, we are descending with Ishtar.
Yes. Oh, that's so perfect.
I know, right?
That's so perfect. I've definitely gone into the 7 gates of hell, stripped myself down and had to come back out of it, just like Ishtar. I relate to her so much. I can't wait to get on to Ishtar. We are the Dark Mother Daughters, which means that we are bringing forth the energy and essence of these divine Dark Mother goddesses, and we will carry forward their legend we will resurrect them back into the now timeline where they are so very needed. So I close this with absolute gratitude. And Drasmin, anything else that you would like to say in our closing?
Thank you, thank you, thank you, beloved sister, priestess, goddess Bashtet. I love that I learned that about you today. Oh, it's going to be a good time when you roll through town here in a few weeks. I tell you what, I'm going to start stocking up the bottles of wine.
Yes.
Get some firewood and some wine, and we're just going to have, naked fire wine drinking ceremony. It's going to be great. So, yeah, oops, I'm sorry. I forgot that we were live still for a moment. Thank you, beloved one. Thank you. And thank you, everyone. Thank you to these beautiful dragon sisters that were here today. So wonderful to feel your presence here and connect with you. And I'm sure that we will meet someday. I just have this feeling, because this is the timeline that collapses the fragmentation and brings us all into unified wholeness. So the Dark Mothers are alive through so many of us. And the question is, are you allowing yourself to trust in that dark power, that, ooh, no, don't do it. Anyways, go do it. Whatever that itch is in you to just go and I just want to find out, just paw at it and find out what happens. Just, go for it. It's okay. So if you are here live, thank you again for being here live. If you are catching the replay, thank you for everyone listening. Thank you for your participation. Thank you for weaving your energy into this space. Know that this conversation meets you exactly when you're meant to receive it. If you would like to receive a print of the transmission of Lady Sekhmet, it is available in my store. The link is in the description box on the YouTube replay. Replay goes up on Thursdays on Dragon Oracle. And as we close tonight, remember this. You do not need to carry everything alone. You do not need to resolve what was opened. Leave behind what is not yours and focus on your peace and your play. This is the Dark Mother Daughters. Until next time, stay close to your body, your breath, your truth.
And we thank you. We thank you for being with us and holding space with us and even being interested. And you know what? Curiosity did not kill the cat. That's a patriarchal dark spell. Curiosity leads to enlightenment. So whatever the patriarchy tells you to do the opposite. Be Sekhmet, be rebellious, be a warrior, be primal, and go crazy and get your claws out and give a good hiss to the patriarchy.
And let that pussy breathe.
Way to close it, Drasmin. Way to close it up. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Hey, listen, there's no shame. There's no shame when you're fully in your sovereignty and you know your powers, including the powers of the pussy.
Get some thought in there, throw away the plastic panties, just you're wearing a skirt, you're wearing a dress, be juicy and revel in your juices. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying.
I think those that know will know. Raquette says, woof. Wait, hold on a second. I'm at the point where I need my glasses. I was just saying woo woo. I thought it was woof. Woo woo. Oh, it's moving and grooving. Power up. Yes, Raquette. I'm so glad you could join us tonight. Thank you for everyone. I saw a lot of people liking the live and sharing the live. So thank you for those that participated and interacted with us. We are going to close it out for the night. And we will be back on here next Tuesday for our third session. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is what for you, Drasmin? That's
7 p.m. Mountain Standard.
7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So if you enjoy this, join us again. And we look forward to continued conversations about the Dark Mother. And we are the daughters of the Dark Mother. Thank you so much. Have a great night, and may the magic be with you.